Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Unity of Vancouver. It's our pleasure this evening to bring you another in our continuing series of classes, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And our host for this evening is the Reverend Bob Trask. And so with that said, would you please join me in welcoming Reverend Bob?
Hello, my friends. Good evening. Good evening. Here we are moving along. I mean, we're coming down to the wire in this 12-week class. And if you're just joining us for the first time, I tell you that there's a lot of value to be had right here tonight. So you don't have to have been here for the whole 12 weeks. Those of you who have been here for 12 weeks, and some of you who have been here longer than that when we did Dr. Joe Dispenza's You Are the Placebo before that, you've seen a lot of changes and a lot of growth in your consciousness. And I celebrate you for that. I truly do. Let's start off with a meditation. We're going to do two meditations tonight. This first one will be pretty normal. We're just going to breathe in through our nose, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, breathe out through our mouth. But when we breathe out, just let our bodies sink and relax. Shoulders come down. Everything just relaxes. We don't push the air out. We just let it flow out. Make sure that our exhales are at least twice as long as our inhales. Let's just do that for a little while, and I'll speak to you, and you'll be hearing some really beautiful music. If a thought should come across your mind, just quietly say, "No thought," and let it go. As you listen to the music, allow it to swell inside of you. Allow it to be playing inside of your chest. And which part of the music inside of your chest is your heart? So let the music swell in your heart. Pay attention to your heart. Let it feel the music. Let your heart be caressed by the music. Can you feel that passion rising within you? That experience of your heart and of that passion feeling, that's the true you. That's who you really are. This is how you felt when you were 5 years old. Full of wonder. Full of the thrill of being alive. In about 60 seconds, the music will fade out. Then very slowly and very gently bring yourself back to the training room. So, my dear friends, tonight's going to be an exciting night. We're going to do some interesting things tonight, and I am so glad you're with me. I've been looking forward to this. I wonder if you worked on your mind movie meditation in your kaleidoscope. You know, we talked about that last week as your homework for you to go on to that site where there was the kaleidoscope and the music, and for you to create a mind movie. And it's really important that you do that if you haven't already. It's important because we've worked a long time and we've worked really hard to get to this place. And this place is the beginning. This is not the end, this is the beginning. Everything up until now has been preparation. Now what you need to do is create tomorrow. Create the future of your dreams. And the way you do that is, as we said last week, to make a mind movie.
Brian?
I don't really care what you call it. You don't have to call it a mind movie. You can call it a script. You can call it whatever you want. But what I want you to be able to do is see yourself as you want to be in the situation you want to have, in the lifestyle you dream of. I do not care how old or how young you are. Do not, whatever you are, if you're out there somewhere right now saying, well, he's talking to someone else because I'm 85 years old. No, I'm talking to you. Because you and I are at the beginning of our lives. We're not at the end of our lives. In Genesis, it said, in the beginning, there was darkness and void. Now, where is the beginning? If we had an open class, I could ask this question and get a lot of answers. When is the beginning? The beginning, my dear friend, is right now. This is the beginning. In the beginning, all was darkness and void. Beyond the tip of your nose is darkness and void. The future is unwritten. It's darkness and void. There's nothing there. And then God said, let there be light. And that's you stepping into the darkness with your light. And there was light. And the light shined in the darkness. And the darkness couldn't diminish it, couldn't handle it, couldn't defeat it. This is your beginning. And you step right now into the darkness, and it's no longer darkness because you're there. But what you step into is what you create now. If you drag your baggage in that great big sack over your shoulder and step into the future with that big bag of stuff that's your past, then you create your past being your future. But if you can imagine your future exactly the way you want it to be, if you can imagine that and see it, vision it, and then write it down and scribble out the parts you don't want and write it again until you get exactly, precisely the future you want for next month and next year and the rest of your life. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be with? How do you want to be treated? How much money do you want to have? What is your health going to be like? You know, we had a wonderful, wonderful doctor, Dr. Femsker, came and talked to us about chronic pain, and he's available, and he talks about not only chronic pain, but all kinds of illnesses. And there's a lot of folks that are suffering from illnesses that they don't have to suffer from. I'm not saying that those illnesses are all in your mind. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that your mind is so powerful that even if the illness is in your body, If you're working with the right doctor and with the right people, they can teach you how to use your mind to overcome that. To heal it, maybe not to heal it, but to take it, to let it stop being the central part of your life. Your pain, your illness, not the central part of your life. You're here for a purpose, and your purpose hasn't finished yet. In fact, your life has been just turning corners. Little surprises are jumping up. Each one of those surprises is a new purpose. Each one of them is a new opportunity to grow. It's as though you've been running quickly and dancing happily through the flower garden and picking a flower here and a flower there and a flower there and putting them all together in a bouquet, and the bouquet is becoming who you truly are. So that when you finally step off this planet into the next dimension, you have a bouquet that you came here to get, a fulfillment of who you are. So this life movie, this mind movie, this life movie that we're talking about, it's just simply you creating the future. And see, here's the way it works. Here's the way it works. Please stay with me. I know I've said this before, but maybe you'll get it. That darkness in front of you, that void in front of you, is filled with possibility. There is nothing you can dream on that you can dream of that doesn't exist in that darkness. Everything exists in the darkness. There is no vacuum. It's all there. It's all possibility. So if you say, this is what I want, and you create it in your mind, and you see it, and you know it, and then you hold it in your heart, and you imagine what it feels like to be there. You live your life movie, you put it in your heart, and you say, yes, this is what I feel like when I have my dreams come true. This is the feeling of that, and you keep the vision, and you keep the feeling. The electromagnetic force brings you together, and you have it. That's the way it works. That's the way you create miracles. It's the way you create your future. So let's move on. So we talked this chapter this week was talking about walking meditation. Walking meditation. That's really an interesting thing, because what you do when you do a walking meditation, and I know you read this, what you do when you do a walking meditation is that you see yourself in that future. You see yourself, you close your eyes and you see yourself in that future. You imagine yourself. What is it going to feel like? What am I going to look like? And then you open your eyes, stay in that trance. You open your eyes and you begin to walk as that person in that future. You begin to walk as that person. You begin to walk as a wealthy person. You begin to walk as a healthy person, as a joyous person, as a person with leadership qualities, whatever that future is that you dream of. You walk into that future. Because then you're bringing your future into now and creating it now. Because there is only now. There's only now. And if you create now what you want tomorrow, tomorrow it'll be there. If you wait till tomorrow, you're bringing today into tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be another today. So isn't here, now, here? And the past is dead. The past is gone. What we do instead, I mean, I'm as guilty as anyone. What we do instead of creating the future in our minds and in our hearts and moving into it with the grace of God, with the wind at our backs from the universe, moving into it with confidence and with trust, with faith, the size of a mustard seed. If we move into that, if we do that, then we don't think about the past. The past doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. When you're in the 8th grade, do you labor over what went on in the 3rd grade in your math lessons? No, that was in the 3rd grade. You don't think about it. So wherever you are now, the past, that was a lesson there. It's done. It's gone. This is a new day. Tomorrow's a better day because today we'll create the tomorrow. So let's have a little sharing. I want to just talk about a little bit of sharing, and let me give you a little heads up about what I'd like to hear about. I tell you that I know your laziness. I know how you're spiritually lazy. I understand that because that's me. I know how that feels. Didn't meditate today because I didn't get around to doing that. Didn't go for my walk, and didn't do my affirmations because I know there's always some little niggling thing that seems to get in our way. And that little niggling thing is called ego that doesn't want you to change. But we're awake. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep, that means you're awake 16 hours a day. What portion of that time can we give to the awakening of joyful, blissful lives? What portion of 16 hours can we get? 10 minutes? Even 10 minutes? Can we even do 10 minutes? 10 minutes a day can change your life. So I want to hush up. I want to hear some sharing from you. I want you to step up now and talk to us all about what you're feeling, what's going on, what you learned this last week, what you just felt from what I've just said in the last few minutes. So let's talk. Hi, Maggie.
We'll talk, Bob.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good to see everybody. So, yes, I've been struggling with just doing the meditations every day. I don't know, I think 10 minutes. Oh, I can't just do 10 minutes. That's not enough. I was so good for so long. And then I don't know. I had to start taking these computer courses in the morning. And so it's like, I got to get up early. I got to be at the class. I'm doing it till noon. And then my day gets away on me. But you're saying 10 minutes is good. So I can do 10 minutes.
10 minutes is good. 10 minutes is good. And I'll tell you why, Maggie, because 10 minutes in this dimension is like 10 minutes, 10 times 60 seconds, 600 seconds. But when you go into the meditation dimension, it's not 10 minutes. And you know that because you're a meditator. When you go into meditation for 10 minutes, when you come out of it, you've been there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Not 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes can really change your life. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool to meditate for longer. I was doing Kriya Yoga meditation for a few years. We meditated 3 hours at a time each day.
Ooh.
And that was really exciting. And there were some really transformative things that happened. But I can tell you that 10 minutes, if I'm busy and I can get alone somewhere and get in a corner and meditate for 10 minutes, wow, it changes my life.
Okay, so I have been doing the kaleidoscope every night with my little iPad before I go to sleep.
Yes.
So that's like 15 minutes. So I've been doing that every single night since last week.
How does that feel?
Well, I find that it's hard for me to, I kind of doze off a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's before I'm going to sleep, but it completely relaxes me. And I probably go into that state where I'm getting into my subconscious. And then when I actually see the different things, I feel kind of joyful, feels good. And I've done all sorts of different ones. Money, love, success. I did all those.
Do you live alone?
I have a roommate.
So, but you're able to have alone time when you need it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So when you do the kaleidoscope and you find yourself falling asleep, I'd be willing to bet that on the way to sleep, you're going through alpha and probably into delta, into some really deep places. And yes, you close your eyes, and yes, your mind shuts down, but you're still hearing the music and you're still feeling that vibration. And I'd be willing to bet, even if you doze off, there's some real value going on right then.
Yay.
Does it feel like it?
Well, I'm not getting rich yet, and there's no, I haven't found love, so maybe it's in the works.
It's definitely in the works, Maggie. I promise you it's in the works.
Okay.
You are you completely, totally worthy of having the love that you want?
I'm getting there.
Let's work on that, because I mean, you've got a great personality. You're a beautiful woman. This is crazy. It's just self-worth. We can get that handled.
Okay, Bob.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you.
Love you, dear.
Love you too.
Next. Jean, my dear sis.
Hi, Bob. Always so
doing?
good to see you.
How you doing, love?
I'm doing okay. I'm hooked up to chemo as we speak, but I just wanted to share. Yesterday, when I was at the cancer clinic, I had taken with me the words to a song that I want as part of my mind movie, and it's "Love is a Many Splendored Thing," and it's from 1955, which is way beyond what a lot of our viewers have been on the planet, but it's always been very special to me. And just because love is a many splendored thing. So I took my clipboard and I took the words and I was rewriting it to fit more into what I want for the future. And the nurse that was on duty for me, her name is Love Need. And she goes by Love. And I thought, how appropriate is that?
Yes.
So I shared with her what I was doing. And she read the words and she said, oh my God, she said, I've got to look that up. She said, that is just so fitting for me. So, it doesn't matter what kind of dire straits you're in, you can always share love. And it is, it's coming together nicely for me. So there you go.
I love it. Love is a many splendored thing.
Yeah. It's the April rose that only grows in the early spring. Yeah, love is nature's way of giving a reason to be living. And then I changed the words from then on. Yeah.
It's not the
but it is.
ground.
Love is the reason to be living. Yeah. So if you haven't heard the song, look it up. Love is a many splendid thing. Nat King Cole sang it.
It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful, beautiful song, and it still is.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear Jean. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're in my heart, dear.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi. I'm Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
I'm not able to use the kaleidoscope. I have a history with terrible headaches, and and that vibration does not work. I mean, I've attempted to use that kind of thing, over the years again and again, and at this point, it comes up to not do it. So I'm wondering if you've got any alternate suggestions that people like me could use to get into that deeper place.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Oh, okay.
Kayla, I have got good news for you. Before this night is over, you're going to find another way to get there, and it's going to be powerful.
Great. Thank you.
You just look forward to it. It's coming tonight.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next.
We have no other hands raised at the moment. If you do want to speak, now would be the time. If you can't find the button to raise your hand, maybe perhaps if you could just wave into your window. Okay, well, Joanne would like to speak. So Joanne, I'm going to put you up next.
Hi, Bob. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Joanne.
I had an interesting week. I've been doing more meditations, And one interesting thing I came across is my husband belonged to a prostate cancer support group. And the man who leads it sent out a link for a video for seniors. And it was horrible. I thought of you mentioning the ad. It talked about once you hit 60, your health is going to go, your friends are going to go, nobody. It was just, to me, the most insulting and defeatist video I had seen. And I right away, I thought of you and Dr. Dispenza saying, don't pay attention to those shingles ad. And I was rather disappointed that he would have sent that out. I just found it really awful. And, thank you for, kind of putting that into your head to say, wait a minute, like usually like you, other people, I mute ads or I do chores. But I thought this video was just really defeatist. And it was, once you hit 60, I thought, God, 60's in my rearview mirror and I feel great. So
60's over 20 years in my rearview mirror. It means nothing.
So you have to be careful. Even people that think they're being supportive send out these messages that it's just like, okay, just go in a corner and curl up. You're over 60. And I thought it was awful.
Because Joanne, here's the thing, and for all the rest of us, here's the thing. We live in a paradise. I mean, particularly those of us that live in the Pacific Northwest. Oh my gosh. I was riding a ferry one day and I went to the back of the ferry, and it was one of those days when the wind was blowing with the ferry such that you could stand on the back deck and there was no air moving at all. And I was leaning on the rail, and an elderly couple were next to me, and there was a woman talking to them, and she said, they got in a conversation, and they said, well, we've traveled around the world. We decided when I retired that we were going to travel around the world and see all the places that we wanted to see. So we went to Switzerland, and we went to different parts of Europe, and we went to Norway, and then we went down to Australia and New Zealand. And we saw everything we wanted, but our daughter lives here in Seattle. So we thought, well, we'll end up the trip by going to the Pacific Northwest. And they said, my God, this is more beautiful than any place we've seen. I was standing there listening, and I agree. But we live in paradise. Holy Spirit, Great Spirit, God, the presence, the one mind is pouring into us all of this stuff, goodness, light, trees, clouds, children, deer, spotted fawns, salmon. Oh, it's just amazing, the paradise we live in. And instead of being filled with that, we allow ourselves to be filled with the stuff that you're talking about. Like you're after you're 60, or wars, or the stuff, the stuff. And we can't allow that to happen. You're so right to mute the commercials. We can't allow someone else, because they're trying to make billions of dollars with their company, to infiltrate our brains, because we're vulnerable. Our minds are vulnerable. Our minds aren't able to say, oh, I don't even hear this because it's not true. We listen to it and it becomes a part of us. We can't afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Did your husband then keep that video and watch it? Or?
No, I actually joined because he had cancer, but he had other things and he was too ill. And I've stayed on the mailing list because they've stopped in-person meetings. But after he died, I still get the emails, and I thought I'll finally look at it. And I was quite, I was really disappointed that they would be so negative. To accept something like that, because when you go to the meetings, the people there are positive, and they're dealing with their cancer, and they're doing what they can to still have full lives. So this piece of garbage to me comes along saying, give up, basically. And it was awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody listen to what Joanne's saying to us, because you just cannot afford to let junk come into your mind. You can't afford it. We're reaching for a place where we're being miracle workers. You've come a long ways here. We're becoming miracle workers. And this, idea of creating the future now is a miracle. We're learning how to be miracle workers so that we can work miracles in our lives and help change the world around us through the miracles that we work. We can't do that if we're carrying the baggage of society around with us. We've got to be able to be like Christ, a Gandhi, a Mother Teresa. We've got to be able to step outside of that and be ourselves. Love you. God bless you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Okay, let me move on.
One last question, Bob. There are
yeah,
3
please.
people in queue, but maybe we can take those 2 people
Yes, let's definitely do that.
afterwards. Or do you want to do them all 3 now, or do you want to?
Yeah, you bet. Let's do them all 3 now.
Okay. Well, Ryan, go ahead.
Ryan, welcome.
Hi, just a question on affirmations. It's the last few weeks, it's really the first time I've ever tried them. Some positive successes that I've been saying them, and then I wake up in the morning and it's already like or throughout the day, it's kind of coming back to me what I said, like either whether it's I am safe or whatever the ones I've chosen. But I think what someone told me years ago was they don't work because if let's say you're really angry, like really in the heat of anger, something's happened and you just say, I'm happy, they were saying, no, that you can't, it's going to sound like you're lying to yourself, but maybe you can talk a bit about saying it then versus saying it, after a meditation when you're in a more receptive state. It seems to work better then.
Yeah.
Or throughout the day, kind of priming yourself so that it's easier when you do slip into your triggers,
Your question is really a good one. I read somewhere years ago, a psychologist said that affirmations don't work. It's like trying to machine gun. He said it's trying to machine gun your subconscious mind. Well, I don't know about him, but I think if you machine gun anything, it's going to make an effect on it. What we're in the machine gun we're doing is we're firing positive bullets. So let me talk just for a quick minute about somebody who's in the heat of anger, and somebody says, do positive affirmations, say, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. That's total baloney. That's total baloney. If you're mad, if you're angry, you have a right to be angry. Be angry. Don't hurt somebody. Own your anger. I'm angry. Like Ryan, if you make me mad, you didn't make me mad. You can't make me mad. You can't touch me unless you do something and then I get mad. And it has nothing to do with you. I'm angry. That's me. I own it. It's my anger. So I have to own it, and I can be as mad as I want to be. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, in the afternoon, in the evening, I got mad as hell. I got really angry. And I was cussing. I was just furious. And I had every right to be. And after a little bit, it cooled off and it went away and I was fine. But if you get angry and you say, I shouldn't be angry, then after the anger goes away, you feel guilty for having been angry. So saying anger is a normal thing and you should be able to get angry. And an affirmation doesn't have anything to do with being angry. So did you see Dr. Femster when he was here?
Yeah, so I've been saying the one every day in every way. I'm getting better and better.
Good. So I'm going to remind everybody what Dr. Femster gave us, because it's a great affirmation, and you might want to write this down if you forgot it. It starts off with I am safe. He said, I am safe. And then you say, I am completely well 2 times. I am safe. I am completely well. I am completely well. And then I am love. I am joy. I am peace. And if you say that, see, if you've got pain, if you've got a problem, if you've got an illness, and you're saying, I'd like to use Dr. Joe Dispenza's work here to heal myself. Well, remember that Dr. Femster knows Dr. Dispenza. He's worked with him. And he's given us this. I am safe. Get that in your mind first. I am safe. And then I am completely well. Feel it through your body. I am completely well. And then I am love. I am joy. I am peace. And feel those things when you say them. So, I've been doing affirmations for 50 years. I've got a whole string of affirmations I love. After Dr. Finster, in the morning before I get out of bed, I'm doing it. At night when I'm going to bed, I do it. During the day, I do it. I'm doing it a lot. Why? Because I know it works. I know it works. This guy's a master. I know it works. I've got a lot of really great affirmations for you. And whenever you're in a jam, any of you, when you're in a jam, you can contact me and I can give you an affirmation. Don't be hesitant. Don't think, oh, well, I can't bother Bob. Yes, you can bother Bob. That's what I'm here for. And I'll give you an affirmation. But the affirmations, Ryan, that you're doing every day, they're powerful. That one that Dr. Finster gave us, not only does it work because it helps heal your body, you're sending all of the great chemicals from your brain down through your body to heal your body. Not only that, but you're also saying, I am love and I am joy and I am peace. So those wonderful things are also anchoring in you. That's a good one to stay with for about a month or 2 months. Just that one every day, as often as you can think of it. And then if you want a different one, get in touch with me.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
my
you.
brother.
Our next individual is Murray Leslie, or Leslie Murray. I'm not sure. Perhaps you can clarify for us.
It's Murray Leslie, but
Okay.
quite often get that mixed up. I've been
Murray,
going to-
aloha. Aloha, my brother.
Thank you. I've been going to this type of philosophy for over 40 years. And once again, we have at least 2 to 1 women to men, probably closer to 4 to 1. Is that an indication that this is right brain?
I think it is. I think it is. There's a reason that women live longer than men. It has nothing to do with genetics or the health of their bodies. It has to do with exactly what you're talking about. The ability to accept, the ability to flow with things, and more than anything, the ability to share. The ability to share. If you have a party, and you know this, Murray, and the women and the men come together, couples come together. Pretty soon, the women are all in the kitchen, and the men are in the living room, and the men are saying, "Yeah, how about those Canucks? You think they're going to make it this year?" And there, and it kind of goes on. And the women in there, you can't get a word in edgewise. They're giggling and laughing and talking, and they're interrupting each other, and they don't care. And they're just so alive with each other. And we men are going, "Yeah, I don't know." And they've got to get a better center if they're just. We've got to open up. We've got to be like little kids again. We've got to be like little kids. And then in the Bible, it says the children shall lead the way. We need to be the children. The joy in our hearts, particularly when we get older, as we are, we need to remember what it's like to be young. Because getting old isn't a thing that happens to your mind or to your emotions. It happens to some parts of your body, but it certainly doesn't happen to your mind or your emotions. You can be as young as you ever were. But you need to be able to open up and feel the world and share yourself with the world, don't you?
A little thing that makes my life better. When somebody says, "Have a good day," my answer is, "I insist." And both of us get something out of it. Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you, Murray. It's good to see you.
Okay, and now we're going to bring on Lori Bob.
Hi,
Bob.
Lori. Nice to
I-
see you tonight.
Thank you. You too. I liked what Joanne had to say about, because I had breast cancer surgery a few weeks ago. And then today I found out I'm going to have to go for chemo, some radiation. But I've only told certain people because of that reason that Joanne was talking about. Some people, they're going, "Oh, poor so-and-so, oh, poor." I don't want poor vibrations. I want to stick with the people that go, you're going to beat this. I know you can, you know, I know it's going to happen. They're going to support you. And, but I have this resentment towards my last naturopath. So I had to change my affirmation to, I'm right here, right now, and I'm loving and forgiving. I have to let go of my resentment towards her.
Yes.
And because this isn't her fault, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
So I really believe that. And again, like you said in the beginning, it's a journey I have to go through. It's a learning thing. So there's something I'm supposed to learn through this. But yeah, so yeah, I really like that, you know, from being in metaphysics for a while, I know that not to let people go, oh, poor Lori, or poor, you know, just stick with the ones that are going to support me, and yeah, no matter what, because and that's why I don't mind talking in this scenario, because these are all like-minded people here.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
yeah, and for the new ones that don't know, you know, we have to stick with the people that are going to support us, not the ones
That's
that are
right.
going to pity us or make us victims or
That's
anything
right.
else. Yeah.
I really appreciate you saying that. And you said that maybe there was something you had to learn or something from the naturopath. I believe that from my experience, what you had to learn is how to forgive and let go. Oh, sometimes that's so hard. But here's the definition of forgiveness. And this is a hard one, but this is the definition of forgiveness. If I could go back and change it, I would not. If I could go back and change it, I would not. I accept it exactly the way it is. And it still hurts. That's okay. That's okay. It can hurt, but it isn't somebody else's pain. It's my pain. You know, I've been insulted. I've been betrayed. I've been robbed. I've been slandered. And I think when I think about those incidents, it's uncomfortable, but it's my discomfort. It doesn't belong to anybody else. I have forgiven those people. I wouldn't go back and change it if I could. And one of the reasons I wouldn't go back and change it is because I'm better now for it. And I can tell you, looking at you and listening to your voice, there's no way you won't beat this. There's no way. You're not a victim. You're strong, you're healthy, you're beautiful. There's no way you won't beat this. No way. We're together with you.
Thank you. And I've always believed that when I've gone through any crisis, I've always believed that nothing but good will come out of this.
Good.
So as long as I stick with that, that's its own affirmation right there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And stick with us, and keep these affirmations and this love flowing.
Thanks, Bob.
Love you, Lori.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on. We've talked about consciousness, superconsciousness, subconsciousness. We've talked about all those things and what they mean and how they work. And so I'm going to ask you to go into your breakout rooms. And the question in the breakout room is, what is the most valuable thing in this? What is the most valuable thing this class has taught me about myself, about me over the months that we've been together? What is the most valuable thing this class has taught me, about myself? You may have to think a little bit about that, but I want you to share it. And the reason I want you to share it is because I want you to bring it to mind so that you anchor it as a win, as a new you. What is the most valuable thing this class has taught me about me? Here we go.